A couple days ago, I was at the gas station getting some milk, and I noticed a commotion behind the counter. One of the cashiers said, "Did you get it? Did you get it?" And so I asked them what was going on, and they said that red car is driving away without paying for their gas. And so I looked over, and I had a better shot at it because I wasn't because I could see the full pane glass. So I got the last three letters off of the person's license plate. "You little red car," with the last three letters RCL, wherever you are. I asked them afterward what they were going to do with the information that they had taken down, and they said, "Well, we have a company that researches all of that for us, and we just give them all the information and then they do the investigations." And I thought, how interesting, because most of us would probably think that that sort of thing is handled by the police or by law enforcement, right? But actually, a lot of companies hire their own security and their own investigators. But just interesting, because one of the areas that you probably would expect the government to be handling it. When a lot of times when I say, or when I hear other people say that they object to the government doing something, and I'm not saying that I object to law enforcement, but that's just the example that I saw recently. Whenever you say something, fill in the blank, whatever it is, maybe ought not to be done by government, people assume you object to that thing being done at all, which is not the case. It's not that you're saying that it shouldn't happen at all. And in fact, one shouldn't assume that because the government isn't doing it, that it wouldn't happen. They say, well, who will build the roads? What do you hate, roads? You hate road construction? Okay, well, you know what? Who builds the roads right now? We contract, we take bids. When the bridge came down over the Mississippi River on 35W, we hired a private contractor from Colorado to fix the bridge. Who would build roads? Well, I guess we would just walk around on dirt. We would just stay in our homes. We would wait until we have private jetpacks. A lot of things get done without government at all, and we don't really realize how much. And that was just an interesting example to me, because I assumed that they were going to call the police. Here's the reason why that's important. Because government, and I'll give you my favorite George Washington quote, is not reason, it is not eloquence, it is force. It is force. So whenever you say, because government is the only legalized body of force. And if you want to say taxes are voluntary, some people suggest that we volunteer to pay them, which I don't know how many taxes they would actually rake in if it was truly voluntary. But if you don't pay your taxes, what happens? I have a friend whose father is in federal prison because he did not pay his income taxes. He is now a criminal. And that's what happens when you don't comply with government, because government is force. Some people think that every good idea they have should be turned into a law. Realize what you're actually saying, because we're a nation full of laws. We pass 40,000 new laws a year in this country. New laws, 40,000 new laws per year, to the point that no one really knows them all. And Harvey Silverglate did a study called Three Felonies A Day, how the average American, and this is a very well-researched study, the average American commits 3 felonies a day. Well, what could possibly make people disregard the rule of law more than having so many laws it's not possible to follow them anymore? We no longer major in the majors. We create laws for the most minute activities. But what you're really saying, so whenever you hear someone say there ought to be a law, what they're really saying is, I want to make everyone who doesn't go along with my good idea a criminal in some way or form. And unless you're willing to do that, unless you really want to give someone a criminal record for not going along with your good idea, you probably shouldn't make a law out of it. There are fines and penalties and whatnot. So fine a poor person. You find a poor person, you fine them $25 because they didn't do your thing. Okay, you're saying, oh, well, I just have a fee. Okay, so you fine them $25. They don't have $25. Now they didn't pay their $25. Now they're in trouble with the legal justice system. So any law that you create ultimately can land someone in jail. And why does that matter? Because a lot of people act as though whether something is mandatory or voluntary is really a minor difference. I would suggest it is a critical difference. In fact, it is the most important difference there is, whether something is mandatory or voluntary. And here's why. Any good thing, say charity, right? It's a good thing. But if you take the freedom out of that, it's no longer a voluntary thing. Now it's theft or extortion. If you take Take sexuality, good thing, right? You take the freedom out of it, now it's rape. You take work, which is a very good value. You take the freedom out of it, now it's slavery. So any good is only possible because of freedom. So everything you decide, we decide collectively, everything we decide to delegate to government, we're saying this thing must be accomplished by force. We should be careful about delegating so much to coercion. Thanks for watching.